Was it ignorance? Was it stupidity?
Martin,
or was it something more nefarious?
Some breaking news. Yeah, we've just had that ruling now. I'll read it out to you. High Court judge has ruled that the Home Office cannot intervene in Epping Forest District Council's bid for a temporary injunction blocking asylum seekers from using the Bell Hotel in Epping. Barristers, as I say, from the department have been told or told a hearing on Tuesday that it should be allowed to involve itself in the case, as the injunction is not simply a narrow planning concern and has significant impacts more widely. The hotel's owners, Somani Hotels, perhaps not surprisingly, had backed the hotel in the Home Office in this last-minute intervention. But Mr. Justice Erie has just said, it is my assessment that the joinder of the Home Secretary is not necessary, so the court can determine all matters in dispute in proceedings. Nor is there an issue which it is desirable to have the Home Office, so the court can resolve it. It's all a bit wordy. He continued saying the consequences of the Home Secretary joining would be the loss of yet further court time. Good point, Judge. The impact of that is significant. Of course it is. The courts are in meltdown at the moment. The absolute backlog of cases that the civil courts, the criminal courts are having to deal with is very significant. And it seems to me that, you know, this intervention could have happened days ago when the judge was actually considering the evidence, not when he was sitting down to give his ruling, and that's clearly what the judge has decided as well. And we're told that Epping Forest District Council will discover within the next 30 minutes, Martin, if it has been granted a temporary injunction blocking those asylum seekers using it. Mr. Justice Erie said shortly after 3 o'clock that he would have a court draft of the judgment to barristers for the council and the hotel's owners, Somani Limited, within 30 minutes. So there we go. The judge is taking none of it from the Home Office. As I say, people really aghast at that last-minute intervention. Was it, you know, something that was intended to derail the process? Well, clearly it was certainly meant to intervene to get a favourable outcome on the Home Office, but it actually slaps of quite an incompetent decision by the Home Office legal teams here. Why on earth were they not fully cognizant of the fact, days ago, as everyone else was, that an injunction was going before the courts that was, you know, potentially not as just a narrow injunction that the council was applying for here, that could have wider ramifications. They waited till the last minute. Anyway, the judge doesn't think that his ruling is going to necessarily be a wider ruling, that it can be delivered within the confines of this particular narrow application for an injunction.
Mark White, we hear the phrase so often, the lunatics have taken over the asylum system. It's almost become a parody of itself. Ostensibly here, the Home Office tried to derail something at the last minute. The judge, you know, hats off to the judge, wigs off to the judge. You know, he's seen right through it. He's having none of it. This will now proceed. We should get a ruling, a yay or a nay. That's what people want in law, in life. Clarity. In the name of God, give us clarity. Where do we stand? That's all people want.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And I have to bring a sort of a note of realism to the case as well, Martin. We had a flurry of similar injunctions back in 2022, you'll remember, with local authorities on those occasions trying to block the use of hotels as asylum hotels because the companies involved and the Home Office had not gone through the planning process. In each of those cases, injunctions were not granted. The councils failed, except one, and that was because it involved a hotel in a seaside resort, a hotel right on the coast, where the council was able, on a narrow point, to argue that actually that would not be appropriate to house asylum seekers there, that it wasn't conducive to the spirit of that location as a holiday resort, a coastal resort, and the injunction was granted in that particular case. Now, it might be that in the 3 years since those other injunctions, things have moved on. Judges are considering different evidence. They feel differently about an issue, in terms of case law from then. So it might go in their favour, but I just add the note of caution for those in Epping who might be hoping that this will rule in their favour, that previous court cases, bar one, have all ruled against those injunction proceedings.
What you're exactly right. And if Epping do get a result here, it certainly would have nationwide ramifications. No doubt people would feel emboldened across the entire nation. High drama at the High Court there, Mark White. Thank you.